Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for making some time to watch the video. You guys know I never take that for granted, so much appreciated there. Today we're going to give you guys what my opinion is the number one thing you never want to do when you're fishing a jig. This is something that took me about a decade to learn, and I learned the hard way with it, and I'm going to share it with you guys today so you don't have to go through the same mishaps that I have with it. Real quick before we get started here, guys, just two quick housekeeping tips. I just want to remind everybody we got the new RB2, my signature series sunglasses, back in stock at SolarBat. They'd sold out in December, got them back in stock now. I'll include the link in the description if you guys are interested. And also, man, we are working real hard trying to hit that 100,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys enjoyed the videos and like what's going on, I'd like to invite everybody to subscribe. That's a good way to support the channel too. Much appreciated, guys. Okay, jig fishing. Let's get into this a little bit. Man, you guys that have watched the channel, you know that I'm a massive jig fisherman. You know, I designed my own jig here, the Blockit Old School jig. And I've been fishing them for a whole 45 years for sure anyway. So anyway, what happened was when I really got into my hardcore tournament jig fishing. Now this was like between about, say 1985 to the early 2000s, something like that, when I really was at the top of my game and winning a lot of money fishing, pitching, and flipping jigs. I went through a period of the probably from about 1990 to about 1998 where, man, I just lost so many jig fish. It was unbelievable. I mean, I had so many tournaments, Bassmaster tournaments, that I should have won, that I had the fish hooked and lost them, jumped them off, pulled them off, whatever. And I got really frustrated with it, and I spent about a full year analyzing and thinking and experimenting about how I was losing these fish. And so after years of after a year of experimentation, of trying just different stuff, I finally figured the answer out. It was my hook set that I was doing wrong with it. Now, we've talked a little bit about this with some other stuff, but I want to reiterate and go into a little bit more detail on how you never want to set the hook with a jig. Now, what happens with jig fishing, there's a couple different bites on it. If you're pitching and flipping a jig in there, the bass will bite it several different ways. First of all, if you pitch in by a piece of cover, and depending upon if you're flipping some thick cover where the bait has to go over, see what I'm doing here. If you flip in there and like where the bait has to go over an object and you pick it up like that, and when you pick it up and let it fall, sometimes you'll just see your line tick like that when the fish hits it. And the first thing that a lot of people do is they have this instinct that they need to reel down and set that hook on it real hard. That is when you're going to lose the fish. When you detect a strike on a jig, you never want to reel down and set the hook on the thing. You never want to do that, because what happens is when a good fish bites this jig like here, what they do is they come up and they'll bite it like that, and they'll take the whole jig in their mouth a lot of times. Now, a lot of times, if you set that hook like on a slack line, or if you set it super hard, you will force the mouth of that bass will be completely clamped down around that jig, and you'll force its mouth open. And when you jerk it out so hard, a lot of times you'll pop that mouth open and that jig will just pop right out of the fish's mouth like that. Now, sometimes you'll hook them, but a lot of times you won't. It'll pop it straight out of there. So what I figured and what I found out on this is, like, now when I'm jig fishing, it's like I'll pitch in there to the cover that I'm fishing, and I work it like that, and it doesn't matter if the fish hits it on the way down or if I feel the strike. As soon as I feel the strike with a jig, even if my line is twitched like that, I reel down to it like that, and I let the fish, take the line to where my line is tight. And then once my line is tight, I start reeling fast and just pulling back while I'm reeling. It's like I don't set most people like to do, they set the hook and they're not reeling. But what I'm doing is I'm reeling while I'm pulling back. And as I'm pulling back, I never stop. I'm coming hard like that with it. And I keep doing that until the fish gets to the boat. And if it comes to the boat in the direction I'm in, I'll either reach down there, lip it, or swing it. And if it's going the opposite direction, then I'll follow the fish around the boat I never want to reverse direction with it. That's one of the things. Another way that you'll lose fish on the jig is you see these guys, you know, they're out there, they're fighting the fish like that, and the fish is pulling like that, and they reach around like that, and they try to reverse the direction of the fish. You're going to lose a lot of fish like that, because a lot of times if that fish is hooked in a certain way and you try to reverse direction, it'll just pop that jig right out of the fish's mouth. So the main mistake, guys, that you want to avoid that's going to cost you a lot of fish is stop setting the hook hard. Stop reeling down and jacking those fish, setting them on a slack set right there. I know there's some guys out there that say it works, but it's been my experience from fishing jigs for thousands of days, over decades of fishing, that I land a lot more fish just reeling fast with them, and never trying to pop them hard with that. So anyway, guys, give it a try. This is something that I learned the hard way. It's something that cost me major tournament wins by doing it the other direction. And once I started, you know, doing it the way I described it to you, my catch ratio went up considerably as far as getting those fish in the boat. So hope it helps you guys catch a few more fish. And also, guys, I'll include the Baitworks link in the description if you want to get you some Block It Old School jigs. You get it there at Baitworks. Much appreciated. We'll talk to you guys later.